Okay, small crowd today. My fault. I didn't promote, but I did hit the record button. Let me double check. Yep, and we are recording. So these are our strategy sessions, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 12 p.m. East. Yesterday, we had Ernest on. He talked about 5 things agents should do every day. Definitely check that out. I did upload it, but I don't have it in the playlist yet. So I'll make sure that happens here right after this call. But again, all these replays are posted to the YouTube playlist at insightrealestate.com/webinars. So now that that's out of the way, yesterday on that session with Ernest, if you were here, we talked a little bit about tasks, and there was this idea on the call about setting up a listing servicing system using smart campaigns and tasks. So basically where you have a checklist of activities that you want to do for every listing. Now, after I got done saying that, I'll kind of tease this. We are in the process behind the scenes of building out, I'm not even sure I'm supposed to say the word, but we're building out these playbook type things that will help you promote a listing, for example, step by step, or help you do an open house step by step. And it'll address a lot of what I'm about to show you. But in the meantime, I thought it would be fun to dig in and say, hey, what if we want to build a sequence of actions that we run through every time we need to promote a listing? What would that look like if we wanted to do it now with the existing smart campaign functionality? So I was hoping to do that right now. If you guys want to, or I mean, just I'll invite you to, if you have any questions about this or anything else that you'd like, just go ahead and chat in to the chat window and I'll answer them as I can. But let's jump right in now and build out one of these listing servicing smart campaigns. So the first place I'm going to go is to Marketing Autopilot. I'm going to go into Smart Campaigns. And the first kind of exercise that you'll go through is to build out, my notes here, is to kind of just build out what those tasks are going to be, right? And you probably already have these in your business. I'd suggest, I'm always surprised when I hear that somebody doesn't have, for example, their listing servicing plan. It's usually the way I say it. You know, what are the 20 things, the 30 things you do every time you get a listing, and how do you make that systematic? So things like order the sign, run the property boost, send a link to all buyers, all KvCore buyers in the price range. Send 100 just listed cards. Create a text code for SignWriter. Run a newspaper ad using the text code, right? So we could build out a list of these things, and these become the things that we use to close our listing appointments, right? So the very first listings I ever got, for some reason, I must have read like, who would it have been? Like Tom Hopkins, right? Or a Mike Ferry book way back in the 90s, right? And something encouraged me to send out this mailing to a condo complex that was the 21 things I'll do to sell your property. Well, when you get the listings, if you're using that kind of hook to get the listing appointments and you close it, then you got to do the stuff. And it makes a lot of sense for this stuff to be done systematically, or you're going to go nuts, or you're going to forget to do some of the things and your seller is going to call you out on it. So definitely, I think it would be a good exercise for all of us to build this list of the things we'll do to promote a property. So I just dashed off a few right here. It would be fun for audience participation. If any of you guys listening want to just mention some of the things I don't have on this list, I'll add them on that you usually do to promote a listing, you know, when you get a new listing. Create video of property. Email other agents. Execute brokers open, open house. You know, if it's relevant for that listing. Schedule open house. Yeah, things like that. Okay. Oh, how about this? A check in with seller. You know, and this could be recurring every 7 days. Okay. Nobody has chatted so far. Somebody just chat and say you can hear me. Thank you. Social media post. Yes. Post to social channels, right? Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Oop, I said Twitter twice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Schedule professional photos, VTour, yeah, and video, of course. Yep. Thanks, guys. So we naturally we're going to come up with this list. I think we've all got this list, or we can think of things to add to it. So once we've got that, the way that the flow that we're going to run through is we're going to want to create a templated task action for each of these inside of Marketing Autopilot here. So I'm going to go to Templates, and I'm going to create a template for each of these actions. So I did some of these this morning to be prepared, but I'll just show you what that looks like. So let's just add one. Add template, and I'm going to add a task template, and I'm going to do a schedule professional photos and virtual tour. Okay, and then just I'll just put it here twice, like the title and the content. And then one hack, one thing that I did this morning, this is important. I'm using this prefix LS in the template name. For my head, I call it listing servicing. So for listing servicing, so all my listing servicing templates will kind of bunch together in the system. So I'll add the template. And then I've gone through, and let's assume you've gone through and done all these. I'm going to add this other one here from Maryland. Yes, contact neighbors. That's kind of like just listed cards, but maybe, yeah, not contact neighbors, knock on the door. Old school approach, but man, does that work or what, right? Just, you got a new listing, you walk down the block and just let everybody know. Man, I mean, there's like just that one idea right there. You could just do it all based on that, right? You could just go knock on the doors of your other people in your office's listings, really, and just say, hey, we have a new listing. And you could build a whole practice around that one right there. Old school, but effective. All right. So, so we've got all our ideas here. I built one template and I have a few others. And what I'm going to then do is add these templates to a smart campaign. So let's create our new campaign. Dennis is making a good point. Not sure that works in a time of COVID. Very true. Okay, so maybe don't knock on the doors right now, but send some direct mail will be good enough. Or if you can get the phone numbers, try that out. Okay, so we're now going to add a new campaign. I'm going to trigger this just when lead is moved to hashtag, I guess. But I think the most common scenario when you're actually going to activate this campaign, you're going to do it manually anyway. But we'll just call this new listing servicing or something. Next, define for seller, listing servicing plan, plan we execute when we get a new listing. Always run. I'll just put no. I don't want this to ever run really unless I have a listing and I want it to. There's no need for that level of automation here. And then add new campaign. Then I'll search for my listing servicing plan. It'll pop up here. I'll just turn it on now to make it live, and then I'll click into it. And now what I'll do is I'll take and I'll add actions based on the task templates that I created. So this is a little cumbersome. I'm going to go to templates here and type LS. And you can see all the LSs that I created earlier. I can go grab them one at a time. So LS. All right. Now, you can schedule this to kind of pop up as a task in your system after a certain number of days. When I was talking to Ernest yesterday, you don't always know how many days you want to do some of these things. So I don't think there's any harm in having these tasks pop up immediately, or after a few minutes, and just have a lump of them come up so that you always kind of see them popping up for that listing, and then you just push them off and delay them as needed. So that would be the one way to handle that. So we'll add that one. That one. And so on, right? So we go through, I'm going to add one more just for demo purposes. Task. Okay. So once we've got all our activities kind of right here, and what we've done once we have them on, we've built a system within our business, right? Something that's duplicatable, replicatable. It happens the same way every time. That's what we're working toward. Once we have it, then when we get a new listing, we simply go to the contact record of that listing. So I'll just use myself here, my test contact. And, you know, I'm the seller of a property, for example, and I can simply go to campaigns, click add campaign, and then it'll be my listing servicing plan. Click add. And I'm hoping you can see over on the right side, tasks. You see it pop up over here. Pops right up. Now, I'm going to get myself into trouble here. Okay, it showed me one task. I don't know why it didn't show me all of them, but the rest did show up in the contact record here. Now, where I want to go is back into dashboard. And you can see I now have tasks because I checked that one off. When I look at my tasks every day, they're going to show up. And basically, it'll show up for the contact record right here. And I can snooze it. So I'm not ready to do this yet, you know, but at least every day when I come in and look at my tasks, they're always coming up. Now, if you have an agent on your team who is kind of the person who does all this stuff, you could have them assigned when you build a campaign to that person, and so on, right there. So does this make sense, guys? That was kind of a quick demo, rough outline of what it looks like. But the work, the flow is just to build out the list of things, add the task templates, create the campaign with all the templates added, and then as you have a seller, you assign this to them. And this is a good way to approximate an action plan for your listings, you know, to kind of create one in KvCore. Of course, I also could have added to that campaign specific calls and emails. So let's go back into that. Oops, I see your question, Rich, 1 second. Dennis saying rule number 1, if it is more than one time, create an automatic task. If you're going to be doing it over and over. Yeah, that's a really good point. Go back into my listing. Servicing plan. And this becomes kind of the system within your business. I'll just because it's floating to my mind, Work the System is a great book about building systems in your business, in my opinion. Work the System by Sam Carpenter. Really good one. If you want a book recommendation. So you have these tasks. I could add a call. So this one, create a task miner calls to, this one could be a check-in with seller, right? Agent to contact, and then I would run that one 7 days into the listing, you know, or 3. And then you could kind of schedule your follow-up with your sellers as calls within that campaign and just space them out according to a cadence that you would want to. What else? And maybe I'm looking at voicemail, maybe not. I don't think that's going to be necessary to the contact. But yeah, tasks and calls will probably make a lot of sense. You could send an automated SMS. This is really interesting, guys. I'm just kind of reaching a little here. But you could, just so this is going to impress your seller clients, but you could maybe in 30 days, 30-day check-in call, check-in appointment, right? You could send a text that said something like, hey, this is an automated text, because you might have just talked to your seller yesterday. Just an automated text. If you'd like to schedule some time to talk to me about the listing, click here, and you can give them a link to your calendar. Maybe I'm reaching a little bit, but I do know that there's a problem where if you do have a lot of listing inventory, you forget the inventory, you forget to check in with the seller, and this would be an automated way to kind of show the seller you're on top of things and just say, hey, this is a standard 30-day check-in we do on our team. If you'd like to schedule time to talk about your listing and what our next steps are for marketing, just go here and have them schedule a calendar with you. Yep. So John's asking, can I create coming soon listed sold campaigns in a similar manner? Of course. Yep. It would always look the same. You could have a similar campaign for your coming soon flow. If you just sold a property, you're going to want to send just sold cards. You're going to want to maybe run a Facebook ad that brags about that you sold the property, things like that. Yes, you could have similar things. And all you do is you just move your contacts through these different campaigns as you go. Now I'm gonna answer Rich's question. Richard asked, when you set up a campaign action, is there a way to make the next action due a designated time period after completion of the previous task? There isn't currently, but I will say, personally, Rich, I have a lot of frustrations with our smart campaigns that I think a lot of users share, and I've been very vocal internally about pushing our team to really beef up the functionality in general and the kind of UI, like the flow, how easy it is to use this thing. It does a lot of great stuff now, but you have to take a lot of steps to do it. It does a lot of great marketing automation. So things like what you're mentioning are on our radar and are going to be worked on, not only to make it a better interface, but also kind of bring it in line with what people expect with marketing automation these days. So I know that's not the best answer. It doesn't solve your problem right now. If you do want to set a task for certain days after, you could hack it together. Nah, not really, but you can set yourself reminders in here. Like you could have a task that says, do I need to do this? And it would be like a task to schedule a task. So yeah, the quick answer is I don't think we have a way to schedule it after completion of another one yet. The YouTube channel is the easiest way to access it. If you just search Inside Real Estate, you'll find it. But if you go to insiderealestate.com/webinars, and then you just, this link right here, all our replays are on the YouTube channel. And I'll drop that to everybody watching live. And we should have, I think you'll see soon, we'll have more integration. It'll be easier for you guys to find this stuff within the dashboard, I'm hoping. Our YouTube channel and just where all this content's being posted. We should also have an escalated kind of visible calendar of all these kind of events, the Agent Success Plan stuff. There's a lot of stuff we do, not just these sessions that I do, that will be easier for you to find. So yeah, that was kind of the content. I usually come to these things with a couple of minutes of some topic to talk about. I think building a listing servicing plan that you run through consistently within your every time you get a listing is a good idea. You could make this campaign, of course, available to all your agents, pretty sure, right? So you can design a kind of one centrally that everybody follows through with. If you want to take another step, you could build some marketing materials that brag about this plan, that lift off the marketing items and then market that plan as a company. But in terms of actually getting the execution done, that's how you would do it. You would do it from within a smart campaign that you fire up for the seller. Dennis asking, when is Dash CMA available? I don't know. Isn't it pseudo available now? You might want to just go to the homepage of InsideRealEstate.com and just ask. We are building something very cool related to Dash CMA around listing presentations that should be coming out first quarter of next year, I think. So that's an answer. We'll have a very deeply integrated listing presentation suite into KvCore, and it's going to be, I've seen it, it's really awesome. I can't wait to get it myself. But in the meantime, I do think Dash CMA is available as a standalone. Don't hold me to that, but just ask in our chat. I'm trying to see if there was anything on here. So yeah, along the lines of this listing servicing, if you do have a team, if you're a brokerage, this is something that you could, I was talking to a broker yesterday, you could execute this centrally as well for your agents and even charge, I've seen people, you could charge some kind of fee to have it all done, at closing or upfront. And I think this would be something that you could recruit listing agents to, knowing that, hey, a Facebook ad's going to happen, a property boost is going to happen, every listing, just listed cards are going to go out, this core group of things, and that listing agent doesn't need to worry about it because the company's handling it. Seems like it would be a nice benefit. Any other questions, guys, or anything else you'd like to explore today? We could talk about other plans, other plan-based execution plan-based campaigns we might build. So let's just kind of brainstorm on these. And again, we're working on this kind of sort of playbooks idea, where you'll have these pre-built in the system, and it'll just walk you through step by step, coming soon. I wasn't even thinking of that yesterday when Ernest and I were talking, but we are working on this. So we could do an open house plan, past client plan. What do you do every time you have a past client plan? And I'm calling them plan, but really they're campaigns. Campaign, what else we got? First time listing servicing. Help me out, guys. Mortgage. You could have a recruiting plan. What other triggers do we have? Oh, you could, I mean, this might be a little iffy, and I know we're working on some transaction-based integration, but you could run transaction-based campaigns. Home that covers, that triggers tasks around contingencies and things like that. Oh, great one, Brett. FSBOs for sure, and expireds. Annual market value campaign, that's a cool one. So that one I might put in with past clients, but that could be that might be an action that happens in a past client campaign. Send the actual annual market value, but that makes sense. Lender follow-up plan. Rich wants to talk about lenders, and I can, but you could have lender follow-up plan. This would be that your lenders. Rich is asking to talk about how lenders interact with the system. I've done a lot of content about marketing with a lender, but I'll confess I haven't spent as much time as I should exploring the specific functionality that lenders have access to with agents inside of KvCore. I was really familiar with it with K Plus and conversion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, it's a great topic for tomorrow, the last session of the week. So I'll take between now and then, and I'll really kind of brush up and make sure I understand. And then tomorrow we can do kind of a lender walkthrough, kind of what the lender experience is. We can also talk about ideas to get your lender involved. Both in working the system and in advertising and stuff. But I'm gonna push that off because I can't answer the question very, very well in terms of the specific what the lender experience is. I don't think I've ever logged in as a lender, which is a bad thing. Okay, so that's that. I'll remember to do that. There's some plan ideas. We have some other questions. Bob's asking, for ideas about lead generations. Any suggestions on how to reach many people without spending a ton of money? I think the place I always go, we've done a lot of this content, but the place I always go when you want to create leads without spending a lot of money with the system is definitely going, the first place I always go is post those on your social channels, the property search of the day. So I think this one, I'll post a link from last week. We kind of went in on it. There's a course inside the learning portal called social posting for leads, something like that. So definitely start your time there. You said you've been posting using squeeze pages on Facebook, but not reaching many people. If you're posting and spamming groups and things like that, my opinion, and from what I've seen, is that's getting a little tired and less effective. I'm sure it's still working for some people. But if you can afford to spend a little bit of money on some property boosts or to run some Facebook ads, they are relatively low-cost ways to do it. How else will we generate business? Well, you can mine. Here's one that, like, I think I've done sessions on this in the past, but I can't remember. But if you're totally kind of on no budget, you need to drum up business, you can use KvCore as a sphere building and engagement tool where you say, hey, every day I'm going to find 3 new people or 1 new person or 5 new people, and I'm going to get them into KvCore on a smart on property search alerts, man. So that could be your whole strategy. You can say, hey, I'm going to go into the people I know. I'm going to jog my memory, and I'm going to get permission to add them to get property alerts. So one of the obvious places you could look for that, first place to start, would be your Facebook account. Most of us have gold in Facebook that we're not mining in terms of relationship building, where you can literally go through your friends list. I'll try to do this now. You click friends up top. Here's all your realtors. I'm not accepting your friend requests. Sorry. But let's see. And then where is my list? This used to be so easy to follow. Wait a minute here. User requests. Where's my actual friends list? Give me a second. I got to learn Facebook. But basically, there are tons of people probably, you know, if you have a few hundred friends who you went to high school with, they're just casual acquaintances and contacts that for whatever reason you have connected with them on Facebook. There's no reason why you can't start messaging these people and starting conversations in a kind of a cool way. And I know this is really basic. Is this it? Where the heck are all my friends? If somebody knows, are these all of the requests? Let's see. Oh, those are the people I may know. There used to be, wasn't there a little link that you could just click and it would bring all of your friends up very easily? There's a chat room with friends. Here's contacts over here on the right side, guys. I think this is Messenger, but it might be a good place to start. Thank you so much. Go to my profile. Yeah, thanks, Rich. So I'll go to my profile. A long-winded way to answer this question, but I think if for a totally new agent, you don't want to spend any money. There's low-hanging fruit here. So starting with Facebook and then go to friends. That's the link I was looking for. Thank you so much. Right. And then simply go through and I think the people at the top are actually going to be people you do talk to. But as you go down, it'll kind of fade out. So like, here's my cousin Neil, you know. Hey man, I'm just getting started. This is at the bottom left with my real estate business here. One of the things I'm doing is setting up some friends and family to receive alerts about interesting properties. Cool if I set you up to receive a weekly email with email of $1 million luxury listings in St. Pete, right? It's a fun conversation starter. Now he lives in Jersey. I'm not going to send this. He'd be like, what are you smoking today? Right. But if this cousin of mine was in my market, or if I thought he was trying to buy a vacation home where I lived, you know, I could send this. And my goal would be to just send a few of these a day and get 1 or 2 people to say, yeah, man, go ahead, set me up. And what this is doing is it's reminding this person that I'm in the business and then setting them up. I'm using my automated system to just send them fun listings. There's lots of different ways to do that. So Facebook is one place. Do something like that. Maybe you don't jump right into it. You know, it's my cousin, so I can kind of ask him anything. Maybe it's a colder contact to say, hey, just noticed you're on my friends list. We haven't talked in a while. What's going on with your life? Talk to them. And then you could be very upfront and be like, hey, I'll be honest. Like I kind of reached out to begin with because I'm trying to get more people getting properties for me. Is it cool if I send you some? You know, you can be very transparent about it. And most people who know you and like you in any way will consent to receive a weekly email from you. So that's one pond you can go to. The other place you can go is to think about professionals that you know in your market. You know, if you join an MLM company, the MLM approach. Anybody who joins an MLM company, you get this kind of list, right? I've seen this list lots of times, and it's like, it's a list of all the people you might know. Your lawyer, your accountant, the pool guy, right? And you go through all the professionals, your doctor, and you can approach all of them as well. Maybe for people like that, you'd say, hey, hi, I send out a list, interesting investment property deals every Saturday. Would it be okay if I emailed that to you? Now you could walk around, you can walk all over town, that list to you. You can just walk in any storefront, you know, with a flyer with the 3 hottest deals you know about right now, and ask that question and get people into your database. So I went off on a little bit of a free tangent. Maybe it should be its own standalone webinar, and it might not have been exactly what you meant, but I'm trying to fill time here, Bob. So hope that was useful to somebody watching. And if you know any totally new agents who need ideas and they don't want to spend a lot of money on PPC, these are some of the things I might do, is basically get people consenting to receive property alerts from you. That's the long and short of it. Bob says he's used LinkedIn as well. That makes a ton of sense. LinkedIn's cool. I would definitely do, in your local market, LinkedIn's going to be a place to go for investment properties. You know, it's kind of flattering. You've got entrepreneurs there a lot of times on LinkedIn, like, hey, have you ever thought about buying an investment property? You know, I send this list out. Can I send it to you? I mean, no, very few people are going to be like, no, stop bothering me. They're like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Send me your hot deals, you know? So definitely don't always need to spend money. But the easy button, if you just want to get leads into your database and you can afford 45 or 60 bucks, the easy button is Property Boost, guys. You know, if you can do it and you want people coming in, Property Boost with an automated text that goes out to all your Property Boost leads that just asks them what their deal is or thanks them for visiting on your site to generate conversations. That is the cleanest 1-2 punch. And, you know, beyond that, we have lots of other things and paths you can go down, building squeeze links and landing pages and trying to build your own funnels. But this really does boil it down, Property Boost, in my opinion. Now, thanks, guys, for the showing me how to find my friends. I couldn't find my friends. It's on your profile. You click on the friends list. Another thing that I've tried to pay my kids to do, but they're too young still. They don't really want to work. But I'd love to, you know, it would be really cool. A good exercise would be to categorize all your friends into different buckets so that you can send them posts. You know, you can do this in Facebook, group them together so you can send them posts related to real estate if they're actually interested. But I guess maybe my kids wouldn't really know what categories people go in. So like Justin, I would put in never talk to again. Let's see here. No, just kidding. Like I'd put him in like crazy sauce category. How do you do this, guys? Can't you group your friends more? Oh boy. All right. But yeah, group and categorize your friends. Does anybody have anything else you'd like to talk about today? I'm feeling a little fried out. We're about a half hour in. Definitely build out some of those campaigns for your different things. And then if you're looking for free leads or you just want to kind of generate business from thin air and you haven't done the Facebook exercise and reached out to anybody, just anybody at all on Facebook today who's a friend of yours that you haven't talked to a while and get their consent to send them listings, go ahead and give that a try. I promise it'll be interesting. You're going to talk, you know, all we need to do is talk about real estate. In the old days, I think what agents did was they would like hand their cards out at grocery stores and stuff, right? Go to networking events. Well, we can just kind of hand our cards out here in Facebook, I guess. So thanks everybody for hanging out today. If there's nothing else you want to do, I'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. East and we'll talk about this lender stuff. I got some homework to do and we'll have a nice presentation for you on that tomorrow at 12. All right. Have a great one, guys. See you, Brett. Later.